Welcome to the Heavens Metal Podcast. My hair looks crazy, and I'm videotaping this just so I can laugh about it later. But today's story is serious. I'm going to talk about the prayer chain at Cornerstone Festival. All right, now that I've got my coffee, I can tell a story. You know, speaking of caffeine, someone once said, how can you be spiritual and drink coffee, have caffeine? I don't know what Yahoo said that. It's probably a Mormon. But in the words of the great Alan Rigg, YouTube and Google that name, he was in a Christian heavy metal band in Hollywood, and he had long hair and wore makeup, probably wore goofy looking spandex too. Anyway, but in the words of the great Alan Rigg, people say, you know, how can you be spiritual and drink coffee? I don't know how you can be spiritual and not drink coffee. So there you go. So anyway, the prayer chain. To 1990 something, they had just released their album Shawl, and it's distributed through Word Records. And the lead-off track was this song called Shawl, right? And it was a pretty darn awesome song. It started off with an Indian chant. Now, you know, I am proud not to be PC. I think the white man, my ancestors, ripped off the Native Americans, and out of respect, I would be glad to call them Native Americans, but I say Indians out of respect. That's how I was raised. I get to say whatever I was raised to say, right? Well, I've thought about this one, and I'm just not feeling the conviction, nor have I seen the pain on a Native American's face when they were called an Indian. So, hit me up, shut me down, correct me. But anyway, there's this Indian chant at the beginning of the song Shawl, and it's ay 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 ay, and the band comes in with kind of a grungy sound. It looks like rain again. And it's a killer song. So anyway, the prayer chain was playing the indoor stage at the Cornerstone Festival. And if you know Cornerstone Festival, they had these giant 5,000 plus capacity carnival tents set up. And they had two of them, end to end, more or less. And one was Encore 1 and one was Encore 2. And it was an indoor stage during the day. And the prayer chain was playing, and that tent was packed. And if you've ever been to an outdoor festival, you know that sometimes there's trouble with the sound system. You're talking about bringing lots of watts of electric power to a rural area. So sometimes there's issues. And there was issues this day. I don't know what the issues were, but there was a delay in the prayer chain hitting the stage. So they were up there working it out. Soundmen were scrambling around. I was in the crowd, and it was at least 5,000 strong at my estimation, maybe more, maybe pushing 8. I think the whole place was packed, and it was bulging. The tent flaps on the side were open, so you could always just walk in and see what was going on, and people can stand outside the tent and still see the action, and of course hear the action. So anyway, the crowd was getting restless. The band was showing signs of coming on soon, but they weren't. And somebody started the chant, ay, 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 and they were bouncing. They were jumping up and down, ay, 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 ay. And if you've ever heard 8,000 people chant and jump in unison and synchronicity, it was a powerful moment. And the band had just gotten the green light to go on stage. And they had this particular song, Shawl, middle of the set. It was a hit. They weren't going to throw it out there early. They were going to wait for the right moment in the dynamic set list, but they knew that they were on top of a moment. And they came out there and they launched into that song with the crowd starting it. 8,000 people jumping up and down. Ay, 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 ay. That, my friends, in my little book, is a classic moment in Christian rock history. And I just want to share it with you because it was so great. Join the discussion.